Hi there and welcome to Juicy Celeb Talks. Meek Mill has just dropped a bombshell that has sent the entire music industry into chaos. The Philly rapper has revealed a scandal so explosive that it threatens to topple two of the biggest names in hip-hop. But Meek isn't just trying to clear his own name, he's come armed with some hard-hitting evidence, reportedly pointing federal authorities directly at Diddy. The story behind this evidence, the manipulation, and the scandalous events that have unfolded are far darker than anyone could have imagined. This week has been nothing short of a nightmare for Diddy, who now finds himself in the crosshairs of federal prosecutors. But this isn't just another typical celebrity scandal, this one is much more serious, with Diddy facing potentially life-altering allegations. Once synonymous with luxury, fame, and a thriving music empire, Diddy now finds himself staring down some of the most severe charges imaginable. Forget the tabloid gossip, this is way more intense. Diddy is facing allegations that go beyond the scandal and could result in serious prison time. We're talking racketeering, conspiracy, fraud, and even trafficking. Yes, you read that right, these are hardcore allegations tied to a supposed criminal operation that has been quietly running for nearly 2 decades. Things went from bad to worse in September when federal authorities arrested Diddy at a high-end Manhattan hotel. The arrest came sooner than expected after Homeland Security had been investigating his activities for a long time. When authorities raided Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles, what they found was beyond disturbing: a stash of illegal firearms, piles of drugs, an alarming amount of personal lubricants and baby oil, and electronic devices filled with incriminating evidence. And to make things worse, those electronic devices reportedly contain videos from Diddy's infamous freak-off parties where women were allegedly drugged, coerced, and forced into sexual acts, all while being filmed by Diddy himself. The case has blown up, and the evidence is damning. Firearms with scratched-off serial numbers, video footage that supports trafficking claims, and drugs scattered everywhere, it paints a horrifying picture. Federal prosecutors are not holding back, claiming that Diddy has been operating this underground empire for almost 20 years, using his influence to keep it hidden. And this is just the beginning. There's reportedly even more evidence that hasn't been made public yet, and rumors are swirling that this case could implicate even bigger names in the industry. But one thing is clear: Diddy is facing the fight of his life, and if he goes down, it won't be quietly. According to the indictment, Diddy threw wild sex parties where women were allegedly forced into doing things they hadn't signed up for, things so terrible that some of them required medical assistance just to recover. The feds say they have evidence that Diddy used promises of fame and success to lure these women in, only to trap them in a nightmare of exploitation. But it's not just about the parties. The charges go much deeper, including allegations of kidnapping, forced labor, and human trafficking. Diddy is accused of using everything from violent threats to bribery to keep the victims quiet and the operation running smoothly. The authorities even have recordings of his crew trying to bribe or intimidate people as the allegations started to surface. Diddy's legal team is fighting back, though. They tried to negotiate a $50 million bail deal, offering house arrest and round-the-clock surveillance, but the judge wasn't having it. The seriousness of the charges and concerns that Diddy might flee or tamper with witnesses led the judge to deny bail. Diddy, of course, maintains his innocence, with his lawyers calling the entire case unfair. They say he's prepared to fight with everything he's got. But if he's convicted, he's looking at life in prison. And the feds aren't stopping there, they're coming for his money, his properties, and anything else tied to this alleged criminal empire. The charges are shaking the entire industry, especially as more victims and witnesses come forward. Word is that over 50 people are ready to testify, which makes it clear that this nightmare has been going on for far longer than anyone realized. As the legal battle intensifies, it's not just Diddy's career that's on the line. This case could be a game-changer for the entire entertainment world. Everyone is watching every move, and Diddy's entire legacy is hanging by a thread as this scandal continues to heat up. Meek Mill's role in the drama while Diddy is fighting to stay out of prison, another name has been swirling in the background: Meek Mill. But Meek, as usual, is taking a different approach to the chaos. In the midst of everything, Meek casually jumped on X, formerly Twitter, and dropped a bombshell of his own. In other news, I bought a farm. That's right, while the internet is buzzing about Diddy's downfall, Meek is over here talking about a whole new chapter in his life. No details, no deep dive into his plans for the farm, just a simple flex. Naturally, fans are curious, is Meek trying to distract from all the Diddy-related drama, or is this just a power move to remind everyone that he's not getting caught up in the mess? Either way, he kept it brief, credited his success to God, and moved on without giving people much to chew on. But let's not forget why Meek's name is even being brought up in connection with Diddy in the first place. The rumor mill went into overdrive earlier this year when Rodney Lil Rod Jones filed a lawsuit against Diddy, alleging that the music mogul had a sexual relationship with a Philadelphia rapper who had dated Nicki Minaj. You don't need to be a detective to figure out who they were implying, and Meek Mill's name started getting thrown around almost immediately. Online trolls had a field day with the rumors, throwing all sorts of accusations at Meek. But here's where things get tricky. While Meek hasn't completely distanced himself from Diddy, he wasn't quick to jump on the bandwagon and believe all the claims coming out against him either. In fact, Meek has been staying focused on his own path instead of diving into the drama. However, things took a serious turn when security footage allegedly showing Diddy assaulting his longtime ex, Cassie, leaked online. That video was the tipping point for Meek. Without saying a word, he hit Diddy with the ultimate social media burn, the unfollow button. And in 2024, that's as good as a public statement. By unfollowing Diddy, Meek sent a clear message he's not going to co-sign or stand by someone embroiled in such serious allegations. But what does Meek really know? Remember how there were rumors about him potentially handing over evidence to the feds? If that's true, it could be the final nail in Diddy's coffin. We don't know exactly what Meek might have, but in this case this big, every little bit counts. Meek Mill just stirred up the entire music industry with a revelation so shocking, it's thrown some of the biggest names in hip-hop into chaos. Meek isn't just protecting himself, he's providing concrete evidence to federal authorities, directly implicating none other than Diddy. The story behind this audio recording and the hidden agendas involved is darker than anyone could have predicted. This week has been nothing short of a nightmare for Diddy. What's unfolding isn't your run-of-the-mill celebrity scandal. The man who's been synonymous with luxury, fame, and a music empire now faces some of the most serious allegations imaginable. Diddy is not just dealing with gossip, he's up against federal charges that could lead to significant prison time. The allegations are grave, encompassing racketeering, conspiracy, fraud, and even trafficking. These are not light accusations, but rather serious claims tied to an alleged criminal enterprise that has supposedly been in operation for nearly 20 years. In September, Diddy was arrested at a fancy Manhattan hotel. The operation unfolded more quickly than expected, as Homeland Security had been investigating him for a long time. When authorities executed search warrants at his residences in Miami and Los Angeles, they uncovered alarming evidence: illegal firearms, a shocking amount of drugs, a bizarre collection of personal lubricants and baby oil, and electronic devices loaded with incriminating material. To make matters worse, these devices reportedly contained video footage from Diddy's infamous freak-off parties events where women were allegedly drugged, coerced, and forced into sexual acts while being filmed by Diddy himself. The evidence is truly disturbing. We're talking about firearms with scratched-off serial numbers, video recordings that could substantiate trafficking claims, and an overwhelming presence of drugs. Federal prosecutors are claiming that Diddy has been running this underground operation for nearly 2 decades, leveraging his influence to keep everything under wraps. And according to reports, this is just the tip of the iceberg. More evidence is yet to be revealed, and there are whispers that this scandal could draw in even bigger names from the industry. Diddy is facing the fight of his life, and if he falls, it will be anything but quiet. The indictment claims that Diddy hosted wild parties where women were allegedly coerced into acts they didn't consent to, with some requiring medical attention afterward. The authorities assert they have proof that Diddy exploited promises of career advancement to lure women into a nightmare of exploitation. But the allegations go deeper. They include claims of kidnapping, forced labor, and human trafficking. Diddy is accused of using a range of tactics, from violent threats to bribery, to keep his victims compliant and the operation running smoothly. Authorities even have recordings of his team attempting to intimidate or bribe people as the allegations began to emerge. Diddy's legal team is responding aggressively. They attempted to secure a $50 million bail agreement, suggesting house arrest and constant monitoring, but the judge wasn't convinced. The seriousness of the charges and concerns about Diddy potentially fleeing or tampering with witnesses led to the judge denying bail. Diddy insists he's innocent, with his attorneys arguing that the case against him is unjust. They claim he is ready to fight back with everything he has, but if he's convicted, he could face a life sentence. The federal government isn't stopping there, they're targeting his assets, properties, and anything connected to this alleged criminal empire. The gravity of the charges is sending shockwaves through the industry, especially as more victims and witnesses come forward. Reports indicate that over 50 individuals are prepared to testify, highlighting that this nightmare has been unfolding for far longer than anyone realized. As this court battle intensifies, Diddy's career hangs in the balance, and the outcome could have far-reaching consequences for the entertainment world.